Well, we've got TV and radio presenter and self-confessed breakfast lover Miquita Oliver here with us. How are you doing today?
Really good, Toby. How are you?
I'm smashing. Now, there's some new research out today suggesting that Brits are ditching boring breakfasts and prioritising a fulfilling meal to start the day. So what does this research actually tell us?
I think it tells us that we've all learned to take care of ourselves a little bit more. And I think that the first meal of the day is a really big part of that. You know, I think after everything that we've learned in the last 2 years about kind of balancing our lives better and being softer with ourselves and listening to our bodies and what we need. And in the beginning of the day, you need that fuel, you need that fire in your engine, you need to feel fed on all levels. I know that my brain and my body need to be fed in the morning.
Yeah, and it sort of came from working from home, hasn't it? People have had a little bit more time to get a proper breakfast together.
Yes, exactly. We've sort of realized that we can change our pace and make space for that meal, like give yourself that half an hour to cook something that's actually going to be quite exciting. I mean, that's what's been fun today, talking about how we can make breakfast not just an important meal, but a really exciting meal to start your day with.
So why is breakfast so important?
I train a lot, so I need the fuel in my mind to help me get through my very busy life. And I think we do all lead really busy lives, and it became too often that people would say things like, oh, I skipped breakfast, or I haven't eaten yet, and it's like 1 o'clock. Changes your day, Toby, setting that time out at the beginning of the day. And that's why I eat a lot of bagels, because I can make it something different every time, which is important to me. I get bored quite easily.
Yeah, and sometimes I suppose it goes against what you might expect, because skipping a meal might be sort of seen as healthier, but really it's to do with if you have something early, you're not going to be hungry and snack later on. That's it, right?
Yes, absolutely. I think that, eating the right carbs and the right proteins, and really listening to what your body needs to get itself to your next meal. I would just have another bagel at lunchtime just to keep myself steady for the day. They're very dependable. I feel like you can rely on them to give you what you need.
Yeah, that's interesting, because sometimes breakfast can be a bit limited, I suppose. You can have anything for lunch or dinner, but you can't really, you can if you want, but it's a bit weird to have a burger for breakfast, isn't it?
That might be a bit weird, but I put all sorts of protein in my bagels. I have like chicken salad bagels or tuna fish and mayonnaise. And for me, that is quite a lunchy breakfast, but that's how I like to start the day. And I think bagels allow you to listen to what you like rather than what you think you should have for breakfast.
Yeah. The only thing is, though, sometimes bagels can make you fail a drugs test, can't they?
I didn't know that. Wow.
Do you have any other tips as well? Because maybe some people maybe aren't into bagels. Are there other foods to keep breakfast fancy?
See, well, I think it's actually important to remember how many different kind of bagels you can have. And actually, you can have a really fancy bagel, or you can have something very plain. And that's why I usually keep it there, because some days I am feeling a lot fancier. I've got a bit more time. I'm a bit more indulgent, but sometimes I need something on the move, which I think, bagels are the perfect thing for that, because they keep their shape. When I make sandwiches, sometimes they kind of are a bit messed up by the time you go to eat them, but bagels keep the shape. That's why they look so pretty on Instagram.
And bagels are quite good as well, because they're not complicated to make. So even if you still haven't got time, maybe you're still going to work in person, they're still a good option.
Absolutely quick, efficient and exciting, which is exactly what one's breakfast should be.
Yeah. So why do you think breakfast often gets overlooked?
I think we forget how much we actually physically need it. And sometimes people are more excited about what they're going to have for lunch, because I think we fall into these tropes of breakfast that we think we have to have. But I think when you realize that you can eat whatever you want at the start of the day, then you can start to have some fun with it. And it really shouldn't be missed. It's a really vital part of how we start our days.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess timing is maybe the main main reason people forget, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. And everyone's rushing around and running to the tube and getting to the office. But there is that time that we can make for ourselves. And it's really important, I think, for mental health and for self-care.
Yeah. And just looking at the most popular breakfasts here, according to this research, scrambled eggs came out on top at 20%, then the fry up at 19%, and then your favourite bagel at 13%.
Yeah, see, they're quite high up on the list, aren't they?
Yeah. Did any of the results surprise you?
No, I know how much people love scrambled eggs in this country, and just kind of it's a big part of the way we start the day. But I put those in my bagel, so I get the best of both worlds.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good idea, actually.
Yeah, scrambled egg and bacon bagel is delicious.
Yeah. And the fry up is interesting because I guess it's something that you're not going to be able to do every day unless you've got loads of time. And also, it's probably not the healthiest option, is it?
Yeah, I think we know too much now about our health and the way to look after our bodies. And I think we all know that like eating that kind of processed fat every day is quite intense. But you can be healthy if you still want to have your eggs and your protein. You can still do it in a healthy way. And I think that people do look at ways to make things better for themselves now. I think I don't like food guilt, and I don't think we should have it. I think we should be aware of what we're putting in our bodies.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think people as well are now recognising how important breakfast is?
Yeah, I do. I think the pandemic really did slow everyone down.
Yeah.
And when you've got your time back in a way that you didn't expect to ever have it, I mean, I was suddenly like, what? I have all this time in the day. And I started really changing the way I ate breakfast. And I think that's happened to a lot of people.
And another thing as well is maybe people who have been furloughed have maybe ended up waking up a little bit later and then maybe just went, oh, well, it's nearly lunchtime, I might as well not have breakfast. Do you think that might have happened?
Yeah, definitely. I think at the beginning of lockdowns as well, I was definitely sleeping in. But then after a while, when we sort of had to create balance in these new lives that had no structure or familiarity in them, I think meals were a really important part for me and my family anyway, about getting some sort of routine back in our very odd lives. And that's really stayed with me. Yeah,
that's the thing, I suppose. In the middle of lockdown, food gives you something to look forward to.
Doesn't it? Doesn't it keep it interesting?
Yeah.
And the things I learned about the kind of breakfasts that I wanted to have, just knowing that I could play with whether I wanted to eat savoury or sweet, or layer something up, like put whatever I fancied in a bagel. When you realise that you can have that kind of fun, you make the time, even when your life gets busy again, make the time for breakfast.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, where can we go to find out more information?
You can go to newyorkbakeryco.com, and they have an Instagram, of course, and it's just full of inspiration of ways to just elevate your breakfast and indulge yourself. It's only once every day. Go for it. Have some fun.
Yeah. And just one last question. This Sunday, is it acceptable to eat Easter eggs for breakfast?
Absolutely.
Yay.
Absolutely.
Well, many thanks for joining us today. It's been great talking to you.
Thank you so much, Toby.